They got the audio. Nolan, honey, his last moments on Earth. He's in that boat. Y'all got to hear this audio. When I tell you, all you hear is he dead? Yes, he's dead. You guys got to sit back, listen to what they're saying. They pulling all the video footages, all of the photos of July the 4th and Nolan with them boys, all of the friend groups. It's in this video. Y'all need to see this video. Check this video and comment. Let me know what you think.
And the friends who left him in the water called a tow company, but buried underneath that call. Thousands of people believe they can hear something that was never supposed to be on that recording. If what they're hearing is real, this case just changed completely. Okay, let's start at the beginning. And I mean the actual beginning. Not the rumors, not the viral clips, the documented record. NBC News obtained the audio of this call through a formal records request. This was not leaked. This was not anonymous. It came through the proper legal channel. Now watch this. A young man gets on that call. He sounds rattled, not calm, not rehearsed, rattled. He tells the dispatcher their bilge pump has stopped working. The boat is taking on water. They are at the west tip of Horn Island. He says everyone on board is accounted for. Everyone is in good health. He wants to be towed back. And when the dispatcher asks directly, "Do you need the United States Coast Guard?" he says no. Clear, immediate. No hesitation. That is the confirmed transcript. That is what is on the record. Verified, documented, not in dispute by any outlet that has reviewed it.
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles? Hello?
Hey.
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down.
All right. Well, let's get you going. Membership number or phone number listed on the account, sir.
I don't know the phone number. It's either Jerry Atkerson. I think it's Jerry Atkerson. Try that.
All right.
I know we have a membership, like guaranteed. I don't have the tag
Unless
on
you
here.
have a membership number or anything, it's okay. I'll get you over to the captain. What's the best phone number to reach you at?
Reach me at 2.
All right. And is everybody on board in good health otherwise?
Yeah, everybody's
How
on
many?
board.
All right. Do you need the United States Coast Guard?
What?
Do you need the United States Coast Guard?
No, we do not need that.
All right. All right. Do you have your current GPS coordinates?
Let me go look.
If not, I can send you a text message.
North. All right, are you ready?
Yes, sir. I'm available.
North 3 degrees by 4672.
All right, 4672. All right, and you were breaking up a little bit. Can you just repeat it one more time to make sure I have it correct?
Sorry, look.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, what?
So you're breaking up. If you need assistance, do you have a VHF radio?
No, we do not have the VHF radio.
All right, well, let's try to get you going because you don't have good cell phone reception. Can you verify your coordinates one more time?
Okay, my coordinates are 30 degrees by 14.684 north, and then west by 88 degrees by 46.79.
Right, looks like you're on Horn Island, correct? Are you
Yes,
on
we are
Horn
at Horn
Island?
Island. Yes.
All right, is the boat sinking or you have it aground?
We were sinking, yes.
Is it aground is the question?
Oh, we're not aground. We are in
Okay.
17 foot of water. We're in 31 foot of water.
All right, have to ask. What do you want to do? Do you want to be towed back?
I want to get this boat unsank and towed back, yes.
All right, where would you like it towed to, sir?
You can tow it to Ocean Springs Harbor, or Fort Bayou launch.
All right, how many adults and children on board?
No, there's no children.
So, is there anybody on board? How many adults, sir? That was the question. Hello, can you hear me?
Try to jump in and pull the plug, Bart, while you're going.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Yep, I just need you to answer these questions so I can get you over to the captain.
Okay.
How many
what's
adults
going
on board?
There are 0 adults on board.
There's nobody on board the boat?
No. Nobody
right.
here is over the age of 21.
Sir, that was not the question. Is there a person? Is there a person, a living individual on the boat?
Hello?
Is there a living person, someone breathing on the boat? Is there anybody on the boat?
Yes, there's lots of people breathing on the boat.
All right, how many people, sir?
Like 7.
All right, thank you. Does everyone have life jackets on or available to them?
Yes, we have life jackets available.
All right, verify what boat's sinking.
A Triton, 22 foot offshore, 22 foot Triton offshore sea flight hull.
All right. All right. Please hold. I'm transferring you to the local captain now.
Okay, thank you.
This is Captain Seth.
Hi, Captain Seth. This is Vicky from International. How you doing today?
Doing good. How are you?
Good, good. I apologize ahead of time. I really do. You're going to have a fee-for-service come up under Jerry.
Okay.
It sounds like a bunch of kids on board on Horn Island. He's letting me know that his father's a member, but he can't give me any information. And he's saying the boat is sinking, and he's on Horn Island. It's just unfortunate. He's just a kid. There's a lot going on. So
Right.
he said there's about a lot of people on board. He says he thinks about 7. I'm guessing they're all under 18.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to be rude. He wants you guys to go out there and unpump the boat and then tow it in.
Do you know what kind of boat it is?
He said a Triton 24-footer, but that's all he can give me.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I just actually got off the phone with his grandpa, who I'm guessing is the owner of the boat, and
Is it
he
Jerry?
said that Jerry. Yeah, he said.
Okay.
I just hung up with him. He said that they don't need any help right now, but if something changes, he'll call me back. So
Oh, right.
I'm guessing that they may have figured it out, because that's what he said. So they're in a panic and their boat won't crank.
Yeah, they're in a panic. He's saying the bilge is not keeping up. I asked for Coast Guard. He said no, but he's just really upset on the back end. And, I get it. It's a kid. He just doesn't understand.
Oh, okay. Do you still have him on the line?
Yes, I still have him on the line. And, again, I couldn't find he couldn't give me anything regarding his grandfather's, membership, so it's just under Jerry fee-for-service.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I just talked to, if you want to, we're so tied up right now. We can't really do any non-member jobs right now.
Is Jerry a member? Did you find out if he was a member or not?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's his boat or what. I'm not sure what's going on with it. But yeah, transfer the kid over. I'll talk to him, and then I'll call his grandpa back as well.
All right. And did you want me to look up Jerry's membership number or anything like that to see if he's up? I know you guys are
You can
swamped.
try this cell phone number.
All right, yep, Jerry, yeah, he's an active member. Hold on.
What kind of boat do you have on there? Same boat?
Yeah, he's one of your members. Yep, 22-foot Triton. All right, I'll just disregard this one. I'm gonna send you over an accurate one under this Jerry Ackerson one. Okay, he's one of your members. You'll get in a couple minutes. Okay.
Okay, perfect. All right, and yeah, just transfer this kid over whenever you get a chance.
All right, transfer him now. Thank you again, Captain.
All righty.
Stay safe out there. It's crazy. Have a drink.
Oh, it's wild. All righty.
Now, take a look at this for a moment, because there is a second version of this story, and it is spreading fast. The same call, the same recording, but people are listening closer now, specifically to what is happening in the background, underneath the main conversation, muffled, hard to make out. But what thousands of people believe they can hear is someone asking whether Nolan is dead, and someone else telling a person to check his chest. That is what is driving this conversation right now. That is what has exploded online. And I am not going to pretend it isn't significant. But here is where I need to stop and be completely straight with you. Play the disputed section of the call here. Do not tell the viewer what to listen for before it plays. Let them hear it without direction first. Then continue. What you just heard has not been confirmed. Not by NBC News. Not by any credible outlet actively covering this case. Not by a forensic audio expert. Not by law enforcement. Nobody with the actual ability to verify that interpretation has verified it. And that matters more than most people want to sit with right now. Here is why. There is a documented psychological phenomenon called primed listening. Once someone tells you what to hear, before you hear it, your brain locks onto that interpretation. It doesn't matter if the audio supports it or not. The suggestion does the work. This is not a theory. This is a studied and documented pattern in how human perception works. So when a clip spreads online, with a caption already telling you what the background voices are saying, and then you listen, you are not hearing the audio fresh anymore. You are confirming what you were already told to find. That is not evidence. That is suggestion wearing the clothes of evidence. And in a case like this one, that distinction matters enormously. I am not telling you the background voices mean nothing. I am telling you that until a qualified forensic audio expert runs this through proper enhancement and analysis, nobody actually knows what those voices are saying. Not the people convinced it's damning. Not the people convinced it's nothing. Nobody. Okay, stay with me. Because here is where the call gets genuinely complicated. And this part has nothing to do with background noise. During that same call, something happened on a separate line. The grandfather of the boat's owner called the tow company independently and told them the group no longer needed assistance. Let that sit for a second. The boys on the original call never said that. They never told the dispatcher they had it handled. They were still on the line asking for help. And the grandfather was not on the island. He was not on the boat. He was not in the water. So how did he know they no longer needed help? Before the tow captain had even relayed that back to the boys on the call. That question has not been answered publicly. Not by the friend group, not by the family, not by anyone connected to this case. Now, I am not going to hand you a conclusion on that, because the evidence does not support a conclusion yet. What it supports is a question, a real one. That deserves a real answer. And it is sitting right next to something else. Something that is not audio. Something that is not interpretation. Something that lives on a government document with coordinates and timestamps. And that is where this case gets significantly harder to explain. The call raised questions about what was said. The GPS data raises questions about what was done. And unlike the audio, nobody is debating whether the GPS is real. Before we get into that GPS data and what it actually shows about where that boat went and why it is more important than any audio clip in this case, subscribe to True Crime Hour right now. Here is why that matters specifically. This channel does not do speculation dressed up as fact. We do not take a viral clip and run with it. We do not hand you a conclusion the evidence hasn't earned. What we do is separate what is confirmed from what is argued. Every single time. No exceptions. And there is significantly more confirmed in this case than most of the coverage you have seen will tell you. Here is what we know for certain. Not what someone thinks they heard. Not what a viral clip is suggesting. A documented government record, pulled from the boats themselves. Under a signed law enforcement search authorization, this is where the conversation should have started. GPS data was retrieved directly from the chart plotters on both boats. A chart plotter is not a phone. It is not an app. It is a dedicated marine navigation device. It logs coordinates and timestamps automatically. You cannot edit what it recorded after the fact. You cannot selectively delete a route. What it captured is what happened, and here is what it captured. The boat left Horn Island at 4:31 p.m. It did not go straight home. At 5:52 p.m. it entered Fort Bayou. At 6:06 p.m. it returned briefly to the dock. It left again at 6:36 p.m. It looped out toward St. Martin Bayou, and it was not pulled from the water until 7:19 that evening. Display the map graphic here. Show the full route marked clearly. No animation, just the path. Hold it on screen while the narration continues. Look at that route for a second. Really look at it. Nearly 3 hours. Multiple stops. Multiple direction changes. For what was described publicly as a direct trip home. That detour is not an interpretation. It is not a theory someone built online. It is on the record. Signed off on by law enforcement. Coordinates and timestamps. And as of this update, not one person in that friend group has offered a detailed public explanation for a single minute of it. Not the first stop, not the second. Not the loop back out towards St. Martin Bayou. Nothing. That is the most documented unanswered question in this entire case, and it is getting a fraction of the attention the audio is getting. Now let's correct something else, because a false picture of that island has been shaping how people understand this case from the beginning. The assumption has been a small gathering, a manageable group, a stretch of sand where surely someone would have noticed if something happened to Nolan. A pilot flew over Horn Island on July 4th. He took an aerial photo. Display the aerial photo here. Hold it on screen for a full 4 seconds. Let the viewer take in the scale before continuing. Hundreds of boats, clustered along the northern side of the island, dozens more along the south. A constant flow of boats moving to and from shore, all day long. The island itself stretches 10 to 12 miles. Do the math on that. Hundreds of boats, each carrying anywhere from a few people to a dozen or more. That is not a small, isolated gathering. That is a genuine holiday crowd, and that changes something important. It doesn't prove anything happened to Nolan. What it does is make something that has been dismissed online considerably more plausible. That in a crowd that size, Nolan could have left with someone other than his original group. Someone nobody has named. Someone who has not come forward. And that opens the harder question. In a crowd that large, why has not a single person come forward with a clear corroborated account of what they saw after Nolan's friends left the water? Not one named confirmed witness. That question has no answer yet. Okay, stay with me, because this is where the chapter shifts. From documents and data to the first extended public account from inside that friend group. Warren Hudson, one of Nolan's closest friends, sat down this week for a long on-camera interview. And before a single word of what he said lands, there is a question worth holding honestly. Why now? Why this level of detail for the first time, specifically to this interviewer? Someone who has publicly stated he is on this friend group's side. Not a neutral journalist, not a formal investigator, not a sworn statement. A commentator who had already picked a lane. Hudson does address that directly during the interview, We will get to his answer, but hold that question through everything that follows, the same way you would hold it for any interview given under these circumstances. Here is what Hudson actually said, point by point, on Nolan's phone. He says Nolan left it on the boat. That was not unusual. Several other people left their belongings on the boat too. A friend named Wyatt, whose boat it was, collected the phones that were left behind, put them in his truck. Nolan's keys were never on the boat at all. His car had already been parked at the friend's house the night before. So according to Hudson, both items had a simple explanation. One was in a truck, one was never missing to begin with, and when the phone was asked for that night, Hudson says it was handed over immediately. No resistance, no hesitation, no back and forth. On the specific accusation that messages were deleted from Nolan's phone, his answer is flat. Nobody touched it. Nobody knew the password. There was no reason to access it. Not once. From the moment it left the boat to the moment it was handed back, that is a clear, detailed denial. From someone who was there, it is not independent confirmation. Those are two very different things, and they need to live in your head at the same time. Then came the moment nobody expected this interview to include. The interviewer looked at Hudson directly, on camera, and asked, "Did you kill Nolan?" Hudson said no. "Did you have anything to do with his death?" Number. "Did you delete anything from his phone?" No. No pause before answering. No careful rephrasing of the question. No looking away. That kind of directness on camera carries real weight. It is also still testimony, not proof. A denial given to a friendly interviewer on a platform already sympathetic to your side is a different thing from a denial given under oath. Both of those facts are true at the same time, and neither one cancels the other out. We are not done. Because everything in this chapter, the GPS route, the aerial photo, the interview, is about to sit next to something else. Something that directly contradicts a public statement made by Nolan's own mother. If you want to understand where this case actually stands right now, you need to see what is in Chapter 3. And if you have not subscribed to True Crime Hour yet, do it right now. Here is the specific reason this matters. Chapter 3 contains the most contested detail to surface in this entire update. A leaked text message, a public statement, and a voluntary correction that raises more questions than it settles. This channel is going to walk you through all of it. The same way we just walked through the GPS data. One confirmed fact at a time. No shortcuts. No conclusions the evidence hasn't earned. Subscribe now, so you don't have to find this the hard way later. A GPS route with no public explanation, a crowd nobody pictured correctly, and a denial that carries weight but does not close the loop. All of that is about to sit next to a text message and a public statement that do not fully agree with each other, and neither one is simple to dismiss. The audio raised a question about what was said. The GPS raised a question about what was done. This chapter raises a question about what was true, and it starts not with a viral clip, not with background noise, but with a phone log. Screenshots from Warren Hudson's phone show him calling Christine Wells, Nolan's mother, at 11:07 p.m. on July 4th. The same night Nolan went missing. She did not answer the first time. He called back. She picked up. That call lasted 5 minutes, and approximately 1 minute after that call ended, Hudson called the Coast Guard. According to this account, that outreach happened before Christine contacted anyone officially, before any formal search was initiated. Now, before that lands as something definitive, here is what you need to hold alongside it. These are screenshots from one phone, provided by one interested party. They have not been independently pulled from a carrier. They have not been verified by a neutral outlet. That caveat is real, and it matters. But this account is not standing completely alone. A search and rescue volunteer from the United Cajun Navy separately described a call coming through their channels that same night. connecting their team directly to Christine. Two separate sources. No obvious connection to each other. No obvious reason to coordinate a story. Both describing outreach on roughly the same timeline. That gives this account more weight than it would carry standing by itself, even without full independent verification. If accurate, it directly undercuts something that spread widely early in this case. The idea that Nolan's friends said nothing that night, did nothing that night, and left his family in the dark. The call log does not resolve what happened on that island, but it does say something specific about how fast concern spread once the group realized Nolan was not with them. Now here is where this chapter gets harder to sit with cleanly. Christine Wells gave a public interview and was asked directly whether she had heard from any of the friends' families since attorneys got involved on both sides. She said no. Nobody had reached out. That statement is now sitting next to a text message. Display the text message on screen here. Hold it long enough for the viewer to read it fully. Do not narrate over it. Let them read it first. Dated July 7th, 3 days after Nolan's body was found, from Ashley Cole, a family law judge, connected directly to one of the friends in this case. The message reads, "Christine, this is Ashley Cole. If or when you ever want to talk to me, this is my number." That is a direct offer from a sitting judge to Nolan's mother, made while attorneys were already involved on both sides. And Christine's public statement said, "No one reached out." Now, before that becomes a conclusion, here is the honest caveat. Tatum's team says they verified this message themselves. They say they saw it with their own eyes, but no neutral outlet has independently authenticated it. That is a meaningful difference from the call log we just walked through. The call log had a corroborating source. This text does not have that yet. Both of those things are true at the same time. The text may be exactly what it appears to be. It may not be, until a neutral outlet independently confirms it. It sits in the same category as the audio from Chapter 1, significant if true, unverified until proven otherwise. Here is what happened next, and this part matters. Christine revisited her original statement, not because someone confronted her with the text, not because she was pressured into a correction. She did it voluntarily, in a follow-up appearance, on her own terms. She said she misspoke. She clarified that 2 or 3 families had actually reached out after all. One with condolences, one asking her to call when she was ready, one saying they needed to talk. A self-correction offered without being cornered reads differently than one dragged out under pressure. That deserves to be taken seriously, on its own terms, without spin in either direction. But 2 or 3 brief cordial messages is a meaningfully different picture than a sitting judge directly offering to sit down and talk. Whether that specific offer was ever acknowledged, ever responded to, ever addressed by either side is not clear. From anyone, on either side, that gap has not been closed. So here is where this case actually stands right now. Not where the loudest voices say it stands, not where the most viral clip points, where the evidence actually puts it. A piece of audio that may contain voices asking if Nolan is still breathing. Unverified, not confirmed by any forensic expert, not confirmed by law enforcement, impossible to dismiss without proper analysis, impossible to confirm without it either. A GPS record showing a boat that made multiple stops over nearly 3 hours, pulled under a signed law enforcement authorization. A government document with no detailed public explanation attached to it from anyone. An aerial photo that corrects a false assumption about how isolated that island was and opens a question about who else was there and why no one has come forward with a clear account of what happened after Nolan's friends left. And a leaked text sitting next to a public statement, sitting next to a voluntary correction, leaving a real tension between what was said publicly and what the record appears to show. None of it tells us what happened to Nolan Wells, not in the hours between the moment his friends left him in that water and the moment his body was found 2 days later. That gap is still open. Here is what this case needs to move forward. And these are specific, not general. Katie, the last person confirmed to have been with Nolan in the water, has not responded publicly. Her account of that afternoon could shift the entire timeline of this case. The joint phone review, where the family's own investigators examined Nolan's device alongside law enforcement, has not been confirmed as complete. That review could either support Hudson's account or directly contradict it. The audio needs independent forensic analysis, a qualified expert, proper enhancement, a documented methodology. Until that happens, it remains interpretation, not evidence. And if this case moves toward a grand jury, the GPS data becomes the most critical documented record in the file. Not the audio, not the screenshots, the coordinates and the timestamps. Each of those developments changes what this evidence picture looks like, and this channel will be here when they happen. Nolan Wells deserves an answer, not a viral clip, not a rushed conclusion, not a narrative built on unverified screenshots and primed audio interpretation. An actual answer. Wend and his family deserves more than headlines that move on before the evidence does. Subscribe to True Crime Hour right now. Here is the specific reason that matters. This case is not over. Katie has not spoken. The phone review is not confirmed complete. The audio has not been forensically analyzed. The GPS detour has not been explained. Every one of those developments is coming. And when they do, this channel is going to lay them out exactly the way we just laid this out. One confirmed fact at a time. What is verified kept separate from what is argued. No shortcuts. No conclusions the evidence has not earned. That is not a promise we make lightly. It is the only standard worth holding when someone's life and someone's death are on the line. This case is not over, and neither are we.